in. I would love to see who is joining me this morning. Monday morning, yesterday was the Super Bowl. I was saying in my stories this morning, I approach the Super Bowl like this. Who's playing? I just don't track it. It's, whatever. So I was there for the grandbabies. How was your weekend? If you are on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. If you're on YouTube and you find this helpful for you today, will you hit subscribe? We're trying to build over on YouTube a little bit because it's a search engine, so you can reach more people that way, right? If you're on Facebook or Instagram, like hit the like button, hit the love button, all the things. What it does is it pushes information out further because that's just how the algorithms work. But if you don't know who I am, which is, like highly likely, let's just be honest, 8 billion people on the planet. I'm just in my little lone corner, my little room. But I am Kirsten Liebelt and I'm from Minnesota. And I was pre-diabetic in my 50s, having already been gestational diabetic in my 20s. And I turned it around. And I'm the only person in my immediate family to have avoided type 2. And I'm not on any meds. And now I'm 61. And my dad, this is the biggest piece, he died at 63. As an Italian, I'm half Italian, and we just had so much obesity and so much type 2 in my family. Like this literally was very imprinted on me for my entire life. Like this is all I knew was obesity and type 2. And so I then understanding that insulin resistance was blocking my ability to lose weight. It was blocking my ability to burn fat. I was like, hark, I think I want to deal with that because I was a 2X. I was a 2X in size when I entered my 50s. And so I've lost 3 sizes. And the most important sentence I can give you is that I kept it off. I feel like I have the keys to whatever, like, I don't even know. What are those movies? Indiana Jones and all of those movies that where, you're looking for the key to open up I feel like I'm walking around with a key and I can teach it to you because it's not rocket science. This was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. This was never meant to be anything that you can't deal with unless you get on medication. It was never meant to be that. They created that, but it was never meant to be that. So this is why we're here every single day, Monday through Friday. We've done this show for 2 years. And then we have a free 5-day challenge in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And when you search that, just put in your email and tell them Kirsten sent you. And we do a free 5-day challenge every month. And by doing that, it gives you a track. Gives you a path, gives you a direction, makes you feel like you're not alone, makes you feel like you can actually do this because anybody going all in hard tomorrow, that's it, I'm cold turkey, that's it, I'm going to freaking figure out everything right now. That's not very sustainable, is it? How many people do you know that have actually accomplished that? I think it takes a personality. I think it takes a very specific personality to do that. And that was not me at all. Not at all. But you can get one little nugget at a time, one little ingredient idea at a time, one recipe at a time. You can become somebody who supplements. I didn't even do that. You can be somebody who does basic things. You can do that. And then over time. So let me say good morning. And I'm going to tell you about a text I just received this morning. Good morning, Terry from Tennessee. Patty, you're back. Yay. Good to see you, Patty. Hello, Sue from Posen, Michigan. So good to see you, Marla. Good morning, Marla. God bless you, Marla. I hope you're doing well. And did I miss anybody over here? Good morning, Deb. Good to see you. Geraldine is in the house. Good to see you. Did anybody make the chocolate custard from the challenge last week? Did anybody make that? I had so many people asking for the recipe. It was crazy pants. I did a reel on it. And everybody's like, I want that recipe. And it's like so simple. And my husband was like, thank you very much for making that. He gets very happy when I make good recipes like that. He's like, Oh, yeah, he gets excited about that. He's happy that we do these things in our group. So this morning I woke up to a text. So remember when I talked to you about I have a customer who she had not diabetic put in her chart. And things like that to me are some of the most important things ever. Those testimonies where somebody literally is changing their future and how they're aging. They're changing their health span, not just their lifespan, but you don't want lifespan without health span. Can everybody agree that living longer with dementia isn't living? That was my mama, right? 94 years old. We had already been taking care of her for 5 years with inside of her dementia diagnosis. And it was rough. It's hard. That's not quality. So my goal, OMG, when she tells me I'm still loving, this was a year ago in January that she had that put in her chart. So a whole year later, she's still supplementing. She's still doing the do. People are like, do you have to do it forever? It's up to you and how you want to keep your systems going. And I'm just being super honest with you. If you think that your systems are going to continue to be at a high level forever and for whatever reasons, then, you have to assess your own body. But she's still supplementing. She's like, I'm still so much enjoying these results. And I'm still so much because she's still kind of in stabilization to a certain extent. She's still not diabetic in her chart, but she's like, you know what? It takes time, right? To really solidify your habits and everything. So she's like, I'm still just loving this journey. She's like, God bless you, and it's like, yes, she got the key. She's like Indiana Jones. She got the key. I hope I'm thinking about the right movie. It's possible that I'm talking about a different movie. It's possible. And then you're just going to have to go, Kirsten, seriously, get your stuff together. It's possible. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. Jody, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so how do we, as a collective group, approach turning back insulin resistance? If your efforts are not matching your progress, this is a conversation for you. If you're going to bed at night and you have concerns, and I know this because this was me, you're going to bed at night and you're a little concerned inside of yourself. You're thinking, I wonder if, for me, I was concerned because my dad's sugars were so out of control that he was very, he was all of the symptoms of full-blown type 2 diabetes. So I was always checking myself for symptoms of, am I full-blown type 2? And I was able to catch myself in the pre-diabetic range and turn it around. And I took my 50s where I was in my upper 40s. I was going to bed at night and I was worried in my head. Are the sores on my body healing properly? Am I too thirsty all the time? Am I peeing all the time? I was looking for those symptoms. And so I had concern. I was worried. I had anxiety over not really paying attention to what I should be paying attention to. And so then I really watched my dad in his 50s, his range of 50s, that decade for him. He ramped up his medication. He ramped up his doctor's appointments, his surgeries, his pacemaker, his kidney dialysis. He ramped everything up in that realm. And I went, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't know how I'm not going to do that, but no, I'm not going to do that. So I took my range of 50s and I said, I'm going to do something different. So I took the natural route. And I think that that's obviously why we're all here. We're either wanting to get off of meds or avoid meds or, whatever, or at the very least, but yet it's the most, or it's a big piece. We want to lose the weight, right? We want to, I lost my 3 sizes in my 50s and kept it off. We want that piece for our own life of whatever. shopping and feeling confident in our clothes and blah, 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 all that stuff. But we also know that there's that connection to our health, right? Like we have to lose the weight in order to actually, see some of our numbers shift, right? But the truth is that sometimes you have to like go inside in order to get your body to shift to get the result of the weight loss. So this is all kind of encompassing, and this is what we're going to just run through today. Like, how is it that we actually in this universe help women who are insulin resistant turn back their insulin resistance? How did I do that? How is it not rocket science? How is it that we don't know this stuff? That kind of thing. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Hey, AJ, good to see you. Thank you. Likes my hat. I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Marla, mental stress can be exhausting. It can be so exhausting. And I just don't think that people, if you don't have this in your life, you don't even know what other people are thinking. You don't even know until I come online and share my story. How in the world would I ever have so many people reach out to me? Good morning, Phyllis from Arkansas. Good to see you. I would have so many people reach out to me and go, oh my gosh, that's my story too. Because we kind of hold it in, right? Like we don't want to like tell people that we're scared, or we don't want to tell people that we're whatever. Like, I don't know. I didn't anyway. I figure there are some more people like me than aren't. Shannon, good morning. You have a question about, can you mix the prebiotic green drink with the probiotic powder for just one drink? Yes, you can, Shannon. Good question. You can do that, especially if you're not going to heat the gut primer. You can heat the gut primer for all y'all that want to know that. You can, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but you can take the gut primer and you can heat it up like a tea. Okay, so you could take a scoop of this and you could heat it up like a tea, because there are pre and postbiotics that are not affected by heat. So you're good to go. If you're going to add the probiotic into that drink, don't heat it. That's all. But yes, you can. And you need all of that. You need it all together. Your prebiotic sets the stage for your probiotic. Your probiotic is making everything work. Your postbiotic is literally bringing in a stabilization effect. So yes, good morning, Christine. Good to see you. No heating for me, so you're good. Perfection. I love that. Very, very good. So as we kind of chat about this today, I feel like you're going to hear a lot of yourself in this, okay? You're going to hear a lot maybe of the things that are kind of common to you and to me, right? So sometimes, you just kind of feel like even in this journey, you feel like maybe your body's just not cooperating the way you want it to cooperate. And this is why, if you can get a longer term mindset towards, I'm giving myself permission for the actual journey. Like I'm going to be on the journey. This customer of mine who reached out to me this morning, she started a year and a half ago. But when you can release yourself from the mental stress because you're actually getting results and going into a proper direction, and you have a doctor that says, like literally her text to me a year ago in January was, my doctor just said to me, lady, you are amazing. Lady, you are amazing. Now I don't remember the rest of it, but basically it was like, you're doing so well, I'm putting not diabetic in your chart. That's almost word for word exactly what she told me that her doctor said. Now, a year later, she's still enjoying that mental freedom. Now, she's being consistent. She's being intentional. She's not eating McDonald's 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has done the do. She's doing the work to make sure that her body the ship has to turn back. The ship has to right itself, and it needs to stabilize. Okay? Because y'all, we're not spring chickens. She's in her 70s, by the way. Just FYI, for anybody that wanted to know. Oh, is this about age? No. This is about everything else that we talk about. Insulin is a hormone. Anyway, here we go. So a lot of you've even made a lot of these changes where you're eating better, you're trying to be consistent, you're doing what you're told, and yet your belly is still there. Your cravings, they show up. The anxiety kind of creeps in. And that anxiety piece we underestimate what that is in this journey, right? And your scale kind of doesn't move like how you want it to move, and it doesn't make sense to you. And I'll tell you, this was for me. I had to get rid of my scale for a season because it's like, I didn't understand the biology of what was happening and how it had to take place. So, but if any of that is really you, like you might be brand new to my content, you've never seen anything that I've talked about before, and you're like, that's me. Like my body is not responding. That's me. Then this is probably what you want to listen to for just a half a minute, right? So I see it over and over again. Women, they're blaming themselves for something that is actually physiological. That doesn't mean you don't have to make choices and decisions, but there's a physiological component here that can help you to release shame and blaming of yourself, right? So insulin resistance, it doesn't start with diabetes, you guys. My insulin resistance did not start with my pre-diabetic body. It's really hard on my heart sometimes. I feel like I've said that so much that I feel like everybody should just know that that's true. But yet I had another conversation yesterday with somebody who was talking about a family member. And again, when you are type 2, your insulin resistance started a long time ago. It started years and decades before, okay? Because your insulin was high and they weren't testing for your insulin, okay? Just so that you know. But when your body, this is where that whole safe conversation comes in. And I always say, I don't know, I don't mean to be dramatic. That's not my goal. But what I'm trying to say is that your body literally is in constant state of protection. It's going to protect the systems that need to function. It's going to fight for function. So when your body doesn't feel like it's in the right position to fight for function, AKA it doesn't feel safe to like release anything, it'll store your fat, it will drive your cravings, it will resist change. And that's just the way that this whole physiological conversation takes place. So that's why willpower isn't the fix. We try to externally place on ourselves willpower or whatever, but if you would change what's happening from the inside and creating those cravings and that anxiety that keeps you eating, if you can change the base of the foundation of what's happening, then your results can change. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So when I work with women, I don't start with restriction. I start with regulation. Okay, regulation. And I teach 3 basic things. This is what I teach. So happy Monday morning. Here we go. How do we get a different result? Why are we getting a different result? How are we getting the testimonies that we get? This is how we're doing this. Okay. For everybody who's, I had a lot of conversations with people this weekend. Somebody else reached out to me. This might've been Friday. And she was saying, I've been watching you for a year. You know how I tell you that this happens? I've been watching you for a year. And she had some specific questions. And I was telling that to my girlfriend on Saturday, my business associate. And she goes, again, this happened to you again? I said, yes, it's crazy, but it's true because sometimes we just need to we need our brains to kind of grasp a concept, and it can take time. Don't be hard on yourself. But if it has been a year, reach out. I'll just say that. Reach out. We'll help you. I'll help you customize what you need for your specific situation. I did for her. So number 1, we want to lower our insulin signals. This is why, remember last week I told you, I had a very rare opportunity. It was a gift of an opportunity to talk to the head of branding for the supplemental, for the supplement line that I talked to you guys about. A $5 billion company. But I was talking to him, not just to chat. I got to talk to him about you. I got to talk to him about my demographic, my girl. You're my girl, right? I said I serve mainly women, like it's really above 40, but either 40 or 50 and above, who are insulin resistant. And he spoke directly to me about you. And one of the things was, he said, when you drink a protein shake, this has to do with insulin. When you drink a protein shake, don't drink it as a snack. Drink it with your meal and then try to go 4 hours minimum between eating, because you're trying to slow the insulin signals. Does that make sense? Does that help anybody? So when insulin comes down, the body no longer has to protect the stored fat. Okay? Excuse me, dry. This is why women start seeing changes in their blood sugar, their A1C, their energy, sometimes long before they see major weight loss. Okay? When you eat and you raise your sugars, you raise your fuel, aka sugars, your insulin is released from your pancreas to go grab it and bring it into your cell. So you've got to stop spiking that insulin all the time. And every time you snack, insulin, 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 insulin. That's just one of the pieces of the puzzle. So you're going to get your insulin to come down, down, down. Because when you have high insulin, you can't burn fat. And if you're snacking all the time, you're going to have high insulin. There are other reasons why insulin goes up. We have other live conversations about that too. But that's just where we're going to start right now today. Okay. Number 2. So we target the insulin. That's number 1. Number 2, we target the visceral fat. We're targeting very specifically the visceral fat. Okay. Visceral fat isn't about how you look. It's about what's happening hormonally inside of your body. When this fat comes down, women notice their belly softens, their inflammation eases, their anxiety starts to settle down, their labs improve, like so many good things happen because of dealing with your visceral fat. It's not cosmetic, this is metabolic. Because the visceral fat is the fat that gets stored in your trunk from your boob down your hips, right? And that is the fat that is hormonally active. It's highly inflammatory, and it is like keeping you in a cycle, like you're just a hamster on a hamster wheel. And you're just like, why? That's why we deal with this, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, calm the food noise. We need to calm the food noise. It's a way that you can think straight enough to be able to have a moment and change an ingredient. Have a moment and make a new recipe. It's very important that you can actually have enough brain space, aka calm in your head, to be able to make a different decision, enter a different plan, have a different strategy, etc., right? So this part actually surprises a lot of women. When insulin stabilizes, the constant thinking about food begins to quiet down. And it's like, oh, that's kind of a nice little side effect, right? So you can tell the difference then between real hunger and cravings. You can stop feeling like you are so freaking out of control. That has been brought to me by many of you. Man, the feeling of being in control is so good. It feels so good. I thought it was a character flaw. I thought I was just a lame loser. And that's not true. Your insulin was just high. High. Got to get it down, right? But now consistency actually has a possibility in your life. Oh, now I feel like I can actually be a consistent person. People are like, Kirsten, You seem like you've got it all together. You seem like you just have no problems anymore. And I'm like, this is easier than you think it is. Now, is it faster? Probably not. It's probably not as fast as you want it to be, but it's easier in that once you understand you're getting your insulin down so that everything else can start to fall into place, you're getting your liver function up so that you can get your body moving and you have flow. Now your body's working with you. Now your body's partnering, and it feels really good to have a partner in your process, and your body becomes your partner and not your enemy. You stop fighting. And now you're like creating a new like projection for what's going to happen with your body, and that feels good. So I think that what we struggle with, separate out the two. The food piece is not the hard piece, because once you get your insulin down and your liver function up, then your cravings can calm down, your inflammation can calm down, the food noise starts to go away. The hard part is not the new supplement routine that you're going to step into here. This is not the hard part. The hard part isn't external. This is external. This is external. I'm taking a supplement, okay? That's not hard. That's easy. Eating food and choosing protein, that's not the hard part. That's external. That's why I'm like, seriously, you guys crush my results. Because for those of you that have ears to hear, and you hear me say, listen, if you will just start working on your body from the inside out and get your systems working, AKA the total body reset, that's what we talk about. If you will start doing that, and then I'll send you my free protein blueprint. Like, I'll send you some quick recipes. We'll get into the challenge. We'll do a new recipe. We'll talk about food ingredient trade-offs. For those of you that grasp that concept, oh, those external things, I can implement those into my world. Those aren't that hard. And you actually hear me. You guys crush my results. I took 3 to 4 years just to change out my food ingredients because I didn't have somebody like me on the internet. I just didn't. I was doing it on my own. The hard part, hear me, the harder part, not impossible. The harder part is this. Okay? The simplicity of the total body reset and trading out your food ingredients, those are external. But they're changing what's happening inside, which you need to get the results. And then while you're doing all of this, while you're on your journey, you're like dealing with your heart issues, your emotional connections to food. You're dealing with your mindset. Somebody told you that you're never going to lose weight, that you're always going to be fat, that you have no self-discipline. You don't have any self-control. Maybe that's what you tell yourself in your head, whatever you're talking to yourself, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. That's why I have 2 books on my Amazon. Did I put them on my Amazon list? I have to go put them on my Amazon list today. I have a whole thing now. I have a whole, whatever, like a storefront. It took me a minute to figure out how to make my list, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you. I'm trying to make it as freakishly simple. Like, how can I make it more simple for people today? That's like my question, my main question, right? So weight is not always like the first thing that people see, although many of you do. And I tell you those stories as much as I can. However, just consider for a moment, maybe your sleep gets better. Your digestion feels different. Your anxiety gets better. Your clothes start to fit differently. You start to feel more in control again, right? That's how you know your body is responding. That's how you know. People are like, well, how do I know? That's how you know that your body is starting to respond and turn back, right? So the reason why this whole approach works, like, why did it work for me? Listen, these are just things that I sourced for me. It was just me, myself, and Jesus. I wasn't thinking about doing this. I didn't have this in my plans, this little chatteroo that I do with you. I'm rhyming again. Look at me go. I didn't have any of this in my future vision. I was just like, how do I do this for me? I got to figure this out. This is terrible. I'm pre-diabetic. My mom won't leave me alone about my sugars. My dad is dead. Like, I got to figure this out. I sourced products for moi. And then I talked to people locally, and then I went online and found you friends. So when I talk about the total body reset, and maybe like we know the glucose health is going to go away in a couple of months. If you didn't know that, stock up. But don't worry, because that happened with the magnesium. It doesn't matter. We just find a fill-in for things. The point is that what we're doing on a regular basis is we are diving into how do we get the body to function to produce the result? How do we get the body to function and produce the different result? That's what we want, right? So we're not forcing fat loss. We're removing the signals that block it. We're plucking out those signals that are blocking your fat loss. And we're making it so that your body can actually respond and release fat. That's like, man, game on. That's when it's like, oh, you're not just losing weight now. You're not just losing water weight or impacted waste, AKA poop, or inflammation, or muscle. Oh, dear Lord, we cannot be losing muscle. That's why I've got my aminos in my water every day. It's literally called muscle multiplier. Like, I'm just telling you, like, we have to be mindful about the kind of weight we're losing. I saw a reel this weekend on, who was it? Jillian Michaels. And she was on that whole nutrition panel that they had. This was maybe a year ago, maybe 8 months ago. And, but anyway, so Jillian Michaels, if you know, she did all of that exercise stuff or whatever, right? So I personally haven't followed her a ton, but I know who she is. And she's talking about the OZ. She's like, people do not understand what's going to happen. They do not understand. Now, I have not studied it deeply, so I rely on third-party resources 100%. I'm not reading the studies, whatever. She is. And she said, every single study is showing that there will be what is the word when you just kind of like stall out on something? She said plateau. There will be 100% within the first 18 months, a total plateau. And she said, and in the studies, whatever she's reading, every single person, when they went off, they gained back the weight. And I feel like the reason why is because it's forcing an external conversation instead of internal function. So you're not taking this shoddy shot to get your body to function. It's forcing an external narrative on your body, and it can't long-term fix anything. That was my revelation with my dad. I was like, okay, I don't get it. Like, why is he dead and he's 63 and he has a lazy Susan full of medication over here? And at some point I went, oh, none of that was meant to heal him. Oh, I see. So it wasn't meant to reverse anything. It wasn't meant to heal anything. It was a Band-Aid. There's a Band-Aid bottle, and there's a Band-Aid bottle, and there's a Band-Aid bottle, and there's a Band-Aid bottle. And that's all he had. He had a lazy Susan full of Band-Aids. And so he then was dead because the Band-Aids don't last. And that's when I was like, okay, there has to be a different reason or a different conversation to be had. And I knew nothing about biology. I got like a D in biology in high school. I knew nothing. And I'm like, I need to learn some of this stuff. Like, how does our body function and why does it do all these things? And that's when I came to understand, okay. And I started looking at it. I'm going to be honest. I looked at it through the lens of, okay, so if I am made in the image of God and my body is fearfully and wonderfully made, then my body was created to function. It was created to heal itself. Like I started going down these journeys, like there's got to be a way to help my body function at a higher level. And that's when I stopped feeling so stuck. That's when I stopped feeling like there weren't answers available for me. I'm like, no, there has to be an answer in this. And sure enough, that's exactly what I have found out now. So, right. Good morning, Luana. Good to see you. You're wondering when you get heated up, is that insulin or an adrenal sweat? So, Sue, are you talking about like a menopausal like heat, like a sweat, like a hot flash? Because that is hormonal then. And it's an adrenal sweat. Your adrenals regulate your hormones. So it's the shortest answer is going to be it's hormones. It's a dysregulation, because insulin, cortisol, GLP-1, leptin, ghrelin, estrogen, testosterone, all of the hormones are not happy. And so losing weight, I should say burning fat, like Terry losing 50 pounds, Claudette losing 45 pounds, 74 years old, all of that weight, it's a hormonal conversation, not just a calorie in, calorie out conversation. Okay. Good morning, Marilyn. Happy Monday. Jackie, good to see you. Why is your weight loss so slow? Patty, I don't know. The energy, you need the energy of your thyroid really affects it. Hashimoto's. Yes. Susan, you're amazing. Patty, what have been your results? Because I know you do have really good results. You guys are so fun. I'm just reading right back. Happy Monday. Happy to catch the live. I'm so glad you're catching the live. Deborah, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Patty, let me know. Good morning, Linda. Good to see you. My Minnesota friend. Good to see you. I know. And, let me address that for just a second, Patty. So if you were to follow, let's say, Maria Emmerich, this is why. So there was you've been done with menopause for like 10 years ago. Yeah. And you're still having hot flashes. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Terry says, I probably eat more calories on average than when I was dieting. I get to enjoy my food because it's the right fuel. So thank you, Terry, for saying that, because Maria Emmerich would say, so there's this philosophy, and I'll get my total body reset together here for you. There's a philosophy, or it's a theory, or it's not any of those. It's a practice, and it's called protein sparing modified fast. And protein sparing modified fast is, I think, developed like in the 70s or something like that. And then Maria Emmerich really ran with it. So she's kind of known she's created some cookbooks called PSMF, but she's not the developer of the theory. And basically, what she's saying is keto, and again, I use that term sparingly because there's so much misunderstanding and misinformation around it. But going low carb, let's just say that people still do so much fat or so much, they do not enough protein and they do too much fat. And so protein sparing modified fast means that 1 to 2 days a week, you go low fat, which is contrary to keto. But what it's doing is it's tamping down some of that extra, just the calories and so forth, so that our body can actually have a moment, a half a minute to actually start to go into the fat burning stores. You're not giving it fat. So now it's going to go and get your fat. It's going to go grab it from the inside of your body. That's the most simplistic way that I can say that. And so a lot of her conversation would be around, we have to somehow shift from an old concept of low carb that has a bazillion different ways of looking at it. Like there are so many different ways to look at low carb. Like there's a lot, and a lot of it is wrong. A lot of it is very, like people are still eating, that's why we're doing the low carb tortillas or the net carb bread or all that trash that's keeping us stuck. No, I don't think that's what you're doing, Patty. But I'm just saying there's that camp, but then there is the camp of I'm eating clean food. I'm really doing well, but I'm still like, I'm not hitting that fat loss component that I want to lose. That's when I highly recommend, if you haven't done it already, go and get Maria Emmerich's free macro calculator. Put in your information, put in that you are sedentary, even if you're not. Put in that you are a sedentary person. She's going to give you calories, fat, protein, and carbs in her free macro calculator. And her website is mariamindbodyhealth.com. And sometimes we just need to take a 90-day run of tamping things down. Like, oh, yeah, I've probably been putting too much cream in my coffee. And, what is the difference between a fat and you're like, okay, what was it the other day that I was eating? Oh, I know. Well, even I was thinking about this. So that chocolate custard that we made, that's definitely a treat. There's no protein in that. It's all fat. That's not a high protein dessert. It's literally all fat. And cream is highly caloric, right? So we have to treat things like treats when they are a treat. We have to, we can't just, oh, it's low carb, I'm going to eat as much as I want. We do have to be mindful because our bodies are trying to fight for function and to transition. And keeping your body in fat burning mode and getting there and staying there is, you know what? It can be a little bit of a challenge depending upon what our body has been through prior, and it's like, oh, come on. But once you find your tweak, that's why for me, I do incorporate the egg white bread because the egg white bread is pure protein, no fat. Now, again, this is why it can be a confusing conversation. We're not talking about eating a low-fat diet like back in the 90s. We're just talking about offsetting because we're so used to eating such high fat. I'm going to eat all the pork sausage. I'm going to eat all the bacon. I'm going to eat all the cream. I'm going to eat all the butter. I'm going to eat and we're just like, that's what low carb is. But that's why then sometimes you have to pull back and you have to go, okay, instead of pork sausage, I'm going to do chicken sausage. I'm going to lower that fat and that calorie ratio, but I'm going to keep the protein high. But then you're going to start to find like these little rhythms for your own body that make you go, oh, okay, well, that moved the needle a little bit. That's interesting. And you are now a professional assessor of yourself. I hope that helps. I think that I'm missing comments on my StreamYard. I can see that. Sue, I asked you a question and you said no, and now I'm trying to remember what my question was. Will you please tell me again what you're saying no to? I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you type that out again. I just want to know for sure because I want to make sure that I help you. So when it comes to the total body reset, people are like, well, why does that help me? Why does that matter? Well, it's because you're tamping down your insulin. You're literally getting your body to function. Okay, so let's look at the total body reset through the eyes of the liver. Liver. Your liver is the most important piece of this conversation. Your liver regulates your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. Your liver is your fat metabolizing organ. If you want to lose fat, you have to help your liver. And I know that Patty's already doing that. So this is not now to Patty. This is just about the total body reset. But if you can get your liver, your visceral fat, if you can get these pieces functioning, your body will begin to actually deliver you a different result. That is the goal. It's the different result. So when I started with the total body reset, I sourced for myself these three, right? 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients to help with insulin sensitivity. Okay, so that's what those 3 are. The 4th piece of the total body reset is the gut primer. And now if you're on Instagram and you would like to see a 9-minute video of this, of me sharing this with you on Instagram, you can put total body reset or TBR and it will go to you. Okay, so you can do that. It's not hooked up to my Facebook yet. I will get there. But you can put total body reset or TBR and you'll get instant information. My little bot will give you instant information, but then you can talk to me. But the gut primer helps not only for all of that inflammation because of high insulin. It's like, whoo, let's get that inflammation to come down. Oh my gosh, like what the heck, right? But it's also going to support your liver on a level you probably never understood, especially if you are a lady who says, I have had my gallbladder removed. Because your liver creates bile and it sends it to your gallbladder. When it can't send it to your gallbladder, this is why you're now having issues with being able to, because your liver is your fat metabolizing organ, but now your liver is having a hard time metabolizing your fat. It's having a hard time dealing with your digestion because it doesn't have the gallbladder anymore to consistently and very metered releasing bile into your system to match the fat that you're eating or to match the food that you're eating. So your digestion is like this. And you're like, oh my gosh, why can't I function? So we need to right side what's been going on for a long time. Okay. So that's the gut primer. 6 different blends, 6 different layers for a comprehensive gut primer. So it's going to prime, bring down that inflammation, help your liver to function better. Once you are able to begin to support the healing and the sealing of your gut, your nutrients actually get absorbed so that they can function. You need that absorption to start happening like yesterday. Because otherwise, what else, everything else you're taking, it's not absorbing into your system, right? So we're going to heal and seal that gut. That's number 4. And then we're going to finish it off with, this is probiotic, 5 strains for your, like the repopulation of your gut microbiome. Like if you have acid reflux, this is like, hello. This is where people are like, I'm off of omeprazole. Yes, you are. I'm sure you are. I'm excited. And for some of you, it doesn't happen overnight. Be okay with that. Keep changing your diet. Keep changing the things that are triggering you. This is a healing process, you guys. This is a journey of healing. So probiotic. And then the very last one is liver again. Liver, visceral fat. This is the orange pixie stick. Tastes like candy, like when you were a kid. Put it on my tongue. This one I put on my tongue also. It tastes like the bottom of a cereal bag. Whatever. This is the yummy one. And again, when I talked to the head of the department, he just reiterated things that we're already talking about. Go 90 days on, take 30 days off. Go 90 days on, take 30 days off. It's a thermogenic. Measure yourself, measure under your boobs, measure your waist, measure your hips, have a 90-day journey. Think about doing the total body reset for 3 months in a row. Be a registered customer, which most of you already are, because then you can tap into the free shipping and the free money that they're going to give you. When you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, they will take $75 off your order. So give yourself permission for a journey and get your body to respond. Why isn't my body responding? This is what we're working with all day, every day. Let's get your body to respond. Come on, body. Come on. You can do it. Respond. And then deliver me a different result. But you can't do it if you're not willing to have your external input change. Your external input of food and supplements that's coming from the outside has to change what's going in your body to get your body to produce a different result. The internal conversation in your head is going to be your harder part. The internal conversation of the emotions, that's the harder part. Because you might be telling yourself, there's no way I can give up chips. There's no way I can give up this. There's no way I can stop doing that. There's no way. Like I was raised on tortillas. I was raised on pasta. I was raised on, how am I supposed to? That was me. Why do you think I started to supplement? I know I need to change out my foods. Yeah, that's pretty much never going to happen. So I'll start just taking some supplements. That's how that went. Just telling you, oh, my comments are not there. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I hate it when that happens. And Rocket Man fan, let me know if you received that immediate information. You should have received that immediate information. I'm getting all my technology figured out, girlfriends. I'm getting it all figured out. I really am. I am actually I'm getting into the 21st century here. I might be slow to the game, but I'm getting it figured out. I'm going to be able to get it hooked up to my Facebook business page. I have 2 Facebooks. One is my personal page with my Italian middle name in it, Kirsten Liebelt. That's my personal page. Then my business page is just Kirsten Liebelt. My personal page, I cannot hook up. You can't. It's just a technology thing. They don't allow you. That's what it is. They don't allow you. But my business page, they will allow me. I just have to figure it out. And then Facebook business page, I'll be able to also, along with Amazon or along with Instagram, be like, you can drop this word and get this immediate information. You can drop this word and get this immediate information, because so many of you, you need to bounce. You need to go. You need to get out of here. You don't have time. And so I want to be able to give you things that you can get resourced with right away. Okay. Patty says, I'm proud of myself for taking all of the supplements while being sick with a horrible cold and cough. Way to go, Patty. Do you know how you are just like fueling your body? You're helping your body so much by doing that. You're helping your body so much. Good for you, Patty. I'm proud of you too. You still struggle with that. Are you talking about the brain, the mind stuff? Meme of 9? Is that what you're saying? Because I get it. I get it. Marilyn says, feel better, Patty. That's so sweet. Yes. I know, but I will tell you, you have to have hope. Let's wrap up with this today then. So anybody that needs information on the total body reset, either drop it in the comments. If you're on Facebook, I'll come back and talk to you. Get in my messenger, or on Instagram, you can get an instant response by putting total body reset or TBR. Just because, and I just heard this on a business podcast. So inside of my business universe, we have podcasts. And this person was talking about things that never happened before. He was talking about an affirmation that he started saying to himself. Things that never happened before are happening to me all the time in a good way. Things that never happened before are now happening all the time. And I've really thought about that a lot, about how that actually really connects not just to business, but to you as my audience or my connection, my friends. If I were to have based my results on my past, I would have been somebody who would have never gone forward. I would have never moved beyond my 2x in size. I would have absolutely 100% been type 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I was gestational at 22. I was pre-diabetic in my early 50s. My dad died at 63 from type 2 diabetes. I was on that train. I was on the train. You are not without resource given to you literally by God himself in order to change your own trajectory. I believe this with all of my heart, that every single one of you, you have exactly what you need. You have exactly what it takes to turn your train around, or to at least get off at the next stop. You can get off the train at the next stop, even if it left the station. And a part of that is really believing that whatever has happened in the past, it doesn't happen anymore. Now only good things are happening. And the reason why I bring that up is because in our brains, because for decades we have believed one certain narrative, one certain story, we believed this forever. Whether it is your inability to stick to a diet, it is your inability to stay away from a certain food. It is your inability to be consistent, to have discipline, I'm trying to think of what all the things would be. Every diet you've been on, you've never succeeded. You've never lost a pound. Every time you've tried something new, it's the longest it's ever lasted was 3 weeks. Whatever that story is for you, pretend like it's on a whiteboard. Pretend like that story is drawn out with dry erase marker on a whiteboard. And really do believe that things that never happened before for me, they now happen for me all the time. Erase that story, turn a different direction, and just know that there's something called neuroplasticity. Your brain can be very elastic, and it can change, and it can morph, and it can renew itself. You have to put a few things into place. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't just happen because you got a good night's sleep. You'll have to be intentional. But you just need to know that God made it that way, that your mind can be rewired, that your brain can shift, that you don't have to live with all of that story on your whiteboard anymore. Things that didn't happen, things that were not happening for me, they now happen for me all the time because I had a change of mind, because I changed the way that I was viewing something. Jeanette says, this is so true. Ignore the external and internal noise. I know you do. You have to. Deborah says, hi, Shannon. I have Hashimoto's too. It's a struggle every day, but Kirsten's teaching is helping me so much. She makes so much sense. Deborah, you're amazing. There's a couple books for you. Let me show you my books. And I will actually get them on my Amazon storefront. I need to put them on there. But let me just show you what I do have for you. And then we're going to go, and then I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think that having a couple of resources can be very helpful. So on my website, which is kirstenliebelt.com, and my name is spelled KirstenLiebelt, Kirsten Liebelt, no spaces.com. And when you go there, you'll see my picture, and I'm going to show you where to find those 2 books. Okay. There, I just put it on the screen for Facebook and YouTube. So my face right there, Total Body Reset is right here, by the way, right in the middle. If you want to see that 9-minute video, you can do it that way too. But on my site right here, it's super short. Like literally that's it. And most of it's free resources. It's very short. But right there's a little shopping bag. And if you hit that, that's my Amazon. I'm going to change it so it goes to my storefront. But for right now, today, right now, this minute, go like this. All the way to the bottom. All the way to the, come on. There we go. 2 books. Self-Sabotage No More and What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Very inexpensive books. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself today is, it's an old book, $10.20. Can you afford $10.20 today? The other one is Self-Sabotage No More. I know the author. She's amazing. This one is $12.99. Okay. And these are the things that will help the most with your mind, in my opinion. There are other things out there, but this is very old Shad Helmstetter. And then this one is new. Like this is a couple years old. She released it, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And I actually walked you guys through it in the group at one point. But it helps you to understand how you need to change the way you're talking to yourself. That's the what to say when you talk to yourself. But the Self-Sabotage No More helps you to understand that this isn't about a character flaw in you. This is about your body is on autopilot and you have to change the direction, just like if you're flying a plane. You have to change you have to put the input, you have to change the input. If you put in all of the input and it's the same and you've never changed the input since you were a child, it's now time to update your input. Okay. And then you can go in a different direction, or you can fly higher, or you can fill in the blank. I hope that helps. Those are the types of things that have helped to me the most. Because if this was all so dang simple and it was only ever about calories in, calories out, wouldn't we all be super skinny by now? If all we had to do was follow the instructions on the box of cereal, which is a joke, right? We'd all be skinny right now. If all of those calorie counts on every food that we eat in a restaurant really mattered, and I'm not saying that calories don't matter, but I am saying that's not the primary conversation. So Marla says, Deborah and Shannon, I'm also on the autoimmune struggle bus. However, oh, Marla, because of strategies I'm learning from Kirsten, the bus is slowing down for me and many symptoms are no longer part of my conversation. Oh, that's so good. So thankful for Kirsten and this group. You're awesome. Yep, I'm telling you, 100% your body was created to heal and function. It's how God made it. So, all right. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you need anything today, do not forget to reach out. Because if you like, and I'm grateful for those who do reach out and say that you've watched me for a year, but you don't have to wait a year. You can get started now. And then like by spring, have a different result brewing for you. And it's like, oh, it feels so good to change a season. And maybe you're down size, weight, inches, meds. Maybe you're getting some sleep. Maybe your anxiety is lower. Like, let's go, right? So, all right. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye, you guys.